I woke up in the morning of July 1st and I saw a bunch of twats by Andy Ngo stating, well, the obvious. We were waiting for this to happen. Breaking. The Seattle police are retaking the Capitol Hill neighborhood that was taken captive by BLM and Antifa militants for more than 3 weeks. Now, this is no joke. Look, they're bringing out the cavalry, aka bicycle cops. I mean, seriously, you couldn't have used actual cavalry. I know you have horse cops. That would have been so much fucking cooler if the cops rode in there on horses. But nah, they're all on bicycles. At least there's a lot of them, sure, but this looks like the gay mafia showed up to put down Antifa and BLM. Although, to be fair, if there is such a thing as the gay mafia, and they did show up to put down Antifa and BLM, oh my God, I would be their biggest fan. Like, dude, I'm not even gay, but the gay mafia has my full support. My full support. And if that's what happened, that would be great. But yeah, a bunch of bicycle cops. That's what made them all go running. Up until this happened, there was so much trash talk too. Like, oh, we're going to defend our autonomous zone by any means necessary. We're going to fight to the last man. And as soon as the cops got even remotely serious, they scattered like the roaches they are. These aren't revolutionaries. They're fucking LARPers who are going to run home crying to mommy as soon as things get dangerous. Don't have to worry about it. So now we just have to think, okay? What finally prompted this? So the excuses we've heard are that, there's too much violence, there's too much crime, there's been multiple shootings, rapes, all sorts of things going on, that the mayor was like, oh, well, if it's not just going to be a summer of love, well, we're going to have to come in and fix things. We're going to have to take this area back. And then she did nothing for a few days. And then my theory, and I went over this in previous videos and streams, was this was a business decision. Because they had one business that was bringing in over $1 billion decided to leave Seattle to go to Arizona. And I thought, okay, it's got to be business, especially after we saw the lawsuit that multiple businesses in this occupied area filed against the city. And I was like, okay, surely now they're going to have to act. But still, after the businesses left, after the businesses filed their lawsuit, still nothing. Still didn't act. Now, you can call me a paranoid, crazy conspiracy theorist, but I think the timing of this is not a coincidence when you look at something else that happened. Seattle police dismantled CHOP after protesters threatened the mayor's $7 million mansion. What a coincidence that right when the mayor's giant fucking gated community mansion gets threatened, that's when it's too far. Like, oh, now it's just an act of terrorism. We have to do something about this. I mean, fuck all the people who were forced to live either in or around this fucking zone and deal with this shit for almost a month. Fuck them. Fuck all the businesses who are probably all going to have to go out of business now after this shit. But when the mayor who supported this, remember, the mayor was like, no, actively blocking Trump from sending in the National Guard. And, oh, no, this is going to be a summer of love. Oh, it's just like one big block party. I don't see what the problem is. Then, when the block party, when the summer of love came to your place, now you suddenly see the problem, huh? And this just goes to show exactly what I've said on the past few streams and videos. The best solution to these riots is if the cops intentionally routed the rioters and the looters into the neighborhoods where their rich, white, liberal supporters live. Imagine if when CHAZ was getting started, if the cops just kind of nudged them into the mayor's neighborhood in the first place and said, hey, if you want to establish an autonomous zone, do it in your mayor's backyard. I can guarantee you the mayor would have put that shit down instantly. Actually, I say Twitter headquarters would be a good place to establish an autonomous zone. Because when they were trying to establish one in Washington, D.C., and Trump came out and said, there will be no autonomous zone in D.C., we will do what we have to do to stop this, Twitter actually blocked his fucking tweet to say, it's like, oh, we don't condone supporting violence here. So what Twitter is basically saying is you can walk into their headquarters and set up an autonomous zone there, and they can't do anything because they don't condone using violence to remove peaceful protesters. So how fucking hilarious would it be if that was the new autonomous zone now? Because if Twitter uses armed guards to try to get these protesters out, they're kind of being hypocrites, aren't they? So if you guys are looking to establish another autonomous zone, Twitter headquarters, man, that's where it's at. But back on topic, all it took to put down this insurrection was for the mayor who supported this insurrection to feel the burn. The city of Seattle has finally stepped in and dismantled the anarchists' CHAZ Chop district. Lots of good videos of that, too. Oh, yeah, the cops cleaned house. Not after 6 shootings and 2 teenage deaths, as hedge fund manager and author James Altucher notes. Rather, after protests threatened to take over Mayor Jenny Durkin's 5,000 square foot, $7.6 million house. Let's see. 6 shootings, 2 teenage deaths, and Mayor Jenny still says it's an art festival. Then the CHAZ threatens to take over her 5,000 square foot house worth $7.6 million after her new addition. A day later, she brings in the police and the chaos. Real funny coincidence there, isn't it? And you know what's an even funnier coincidence? Let's look at the rationalization for this entire event, for this whole fucking thing. Here's what I always found real weird. Antifa and BLM previously, when this all got kicked off, they were all, oh my God, the police sometimes kill unarmed black people? We riot. No justice, no peace. Meanwhile, in CHAZ, oh, Antifa and BLM, apparently they can kill unarmed black kids with their own community-based police in their own autonomous zone. Where is BLM and Antifa rallying against the armed thugs in CHAZ who killed an unarmed black teen who, for all intents and purposes, was just joyriding through the area, critically wounded his friend, and last account I heard anyway, the kid who died was killed execution style. And then, of course, they tried to rationalize it. It's like, oh, we were just defending ourselves from evil white supremacist racist Nazis who were trying to stir up trouble. Yeah, an innocent fucking black kid just driving through the area was a white supremacist racist Nazi who was trying to stir up trouble with you. Yeah. Sure. So where's all the fucking riots now, huh? Where's Black Lives Matter? Oh, I guess Black lives don't matter when it's your own guys that are doing it, huh? Now it doesn't matter anymore, does it? Do you guys know how many times the cops encounter unarmed black people and everybody gets to go home alive? Almost every single fucking time. But you don't hear about that because that's not a newsworthy story. It's like, oh, unarmed black guy got pulled over by the cops and he showed his ID. They had a pleasant conversation and then he left and nothing happened. You don't hear about that, even though that's the majority of encounters. You only hear about the few where shit gets out of control. And compare the amount of times the cops have to encounter black people while on the job throughout the whole country. How many times throughout a month do you think that happens? And then CHAZ, during its 3 weeks of existence, and their community-based police have already killed an unarmed black kid. You can draw whatever conclusions from this you want, But in my personal opinion, they're learning that the job of the police isn't as fucking easy as they seems to believe. So when they encounter a situation they don't know how to deal with, well, guess what? These fucking thugs aren't trained how to deal with it, and they react accordingly. And in this case, it's even worse because this most recent case, it looks like there was no justification. It was like an execution-style fucking killing. At least if what I've heard was correct. That may not be. But what I do know is a fact, though, is CHAZ's fucking community-based police did, in fact, kill an unarmed black kid. When are we going to see the outrage from BLM? Have you seen anybody with BLM hashtags talking about this? Of course you fucking haven't. As far as I'm concerned, all fucking credibility that movement had is out the window right now. So last weekend, City Council member Kshama Sawant led a march to Durkin's home where she railed against the mayor and police brutality to a whipped-up crowd of BLM protesters. In response to Sawant's stunt, Durkin called for her expulsion from the city council in an angry Tuesday letter. Aw, the Karens are fighting each other. The next day, the city began dismantling the outer blockades from the autonomous zone, and on Wednesday at 5 a.m., police issued an order to disperse the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, also known as the Capitol Hill Organized Protest. At least 13 protesters were arrested after failing to adhere to multiple warnings, according to Fox News. Exactly what should have happened, yeah. The East Precinct, which police abandoned last month following standoffs and clashes with demonstrators, was cleared of rioters. Police Chief Carmen Best told reporters from Inside CHOP. Best said police were not moving into the building yet, but would clear the area of barricades before beginning operations as soon as reasonably possible. As officers in riot gear performed the pre-dawn sweep to clear holdouts from the streets, police said a Whammons apparently went into labor on the east side of Cadison Park inside of CHOP. Seattle Fire said it was responding to the scene. Well, there you go. Now that the cops are there, you can get fire and ambulances now, unlike previously. Officers enforcing today's order are wearing a higher level of protective gear, said Seattle PD in a statement. Well, of course, they're dealing with known violent terrorists. Police are utilizing this equipment because individuals associated with CHOP are known to be armed and dangerous and may be associated with shootings, homicides, robberies, assaults, and other violent crimes. Maybe. Didn't we just talk about that unarmed black kid that they killed? Well, yeah, where's BLM? Where are all the Black Lives Matter protests for that unarmed black kid? Yeah, I thought so. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.